Okay, let's start with honor your crown. If you feel so moved to say it, go right ahead. I honor the divine within me. I am open to new ideas. Information I need comes to me easily. The world is my teacher. I am guided by a higher power and inner wisdom. I would like to take the time to welcome everybody to the We Collaborate Book Club, where we are reading Dr. Boyce Watkins' book, 10 Commandments of Black Economic Power. First, we are going to go over some vocabulary. The first vocabulary word is consciousness, the state of being awake and aware of one's surroundings. Sure. Woke, being aware of what's happening, seeing where the problems are, and consciously coming to conclusions regarding the necessary steps to make the situation better. Picture of a light bulb. Economically woke. We are aware of where money resides, how to acquire it, how to grow it, and how to protect it. It's a picture of another book. Woke doesn't mean broke. Integration. It is a failed ideology of a people dividing and scattering themselves into the larger population, making them weaker and more vulnerable. That Jews learned when they were a hated outgroup. There's a picture of a woman. She's going to school, Miss Eccleford, and there is a mob of Caucasian women harassing her. And there's also some police officers because of the mob of Caucasian women harassing Miss Eccleford.
Marketing. Everything a company does to acquire customers and maintain a relationship with them with the ultimate goal of matching a company's products or services to the people who need and want them. Leverage. The investment strategy of using borrowed money to increase potential return of an investment. This can also refer to the amount of debt using to finance assets. Leverage. Joint venture. A business arrangement in which two or more parties agree to pool their resources for the purpose of accomplishing a specific task. This task can be a new project or any other business activity. And my name is Samira Abdullah, by the way.
Seed capital. The initial capital used when starting a business, often coming from the founder's personal assets, friends or family, for covering the initial operational expenses and attracting outside funding is often obtained in exchange for ownership stake in the company. Partnership. A legal form of business operation between two or more individuals who share management and profits. The two most common types are general and limited. Leverage. The use of debt to acquire additional assets.
Shareholders, also known as stock. Shareholders, also known as a stockholder, is a person who holds at least one share in a company's stock. Entrepreneur, an individual who, rather than working as an employee, funds and runs a small business, also assuming all the risks and rewards of the venture. We commonly seen as an invader, a source of new ideas, goods, services, and business, or entrepreneur. Angel investor, a person who invests in small startups or entrepreneurs. Often they are among the entrepreneur families and friends. Sometimes angel investors provide maybe a one-time business or an ongoing injection of money to support and carry the company through its difficult early stages.
Capital, financial asset or the financial value or assets such as cash. Capital, consume, a person who buys goods and services for personal use. Consume, producer, a person, a company, a country that makes, grows, supplies goods for sale. Producer,
So these are vocabulary words that we will encounter in our reading today. And we are starting from where we left off. We finished commandment number 1, which was, I don't know if you can see up here, but it's always be an asset to your family. And now we're going to commandment number 2, buy black whenever possible. Buying black is a key to our survival. And that's on page 25. You have your book, please open it, page 25. Ten Commandments of Black Economic Power by Dr. Boyce Watkins. Commandment number 2, buy black whenever possible. Buying black is key to our survival. The Great Redirect, what we could buy with $1.8 trillion. I've done over 18,000 YouTube videos over the years and engaged with millions of Black people. As a result, I've had a bird's eye view of our different lines of thinking, both good and bad. I've seen the trends and how Black economic thinking has evolved over the years. One thing I've observed is a substantial rise in what I refer to as Black economic consciousness. Consciousness of any type is defined as the state of being awake and aware of one's surroundings. Another way to describe consciousness is being woke. The term woke is used a lot, but most people who use it are actually asleep. Being woke means being aware of what's happening, seeing where the problems are, and consciously coming to conclusions regarding the necessary steps to make the situation better. We must ensure that all of us are economically woke. Simply put, being economically woke means that we are aware of where money resides, how to acquire it, how to grow it, and how to protect it. When we spend our money, we should be aware of who is receiving these funds and what they are doing with this money. Economic wokeness is critical because the Black community loses well over $1 trillion per year in wealth that goes into the hands of those who take advantage of the fact that millions of our people are asleep at the wheel when it comes to finances. This might include the neighborhood stores run by foreigners, the hair and nail salons, the music industry, fast food restaurants, and merchants who sell goods to our people and give nothing in return. The truth is that while they will gladly take our money for a wide variety of goods and services, they have no such desire to return the favor. The reality is that everyone boycotts Black-owned businesses, including Black people. Black-owned businesses aren't just shut out of global commerce in a multitude of respects, but they are often passed over by Black people who firmly believe that Black people are less competent than whites. This vast economic divide is the kind of thing that holds our community back economically and keeps our best and brightest as nothing but job seekers. While there is certainly nothing wrong with seeking a job, the reality is that you can't have an entire community filled with people who are only looking for employment. To fix this issue, Black people must consciously seek out and support Black-owned businesses whenever possible. This should start with the businesses being run in your own family and neighborhoods. Supporting Black-owned businesses doesn't just mean buying the products. It means adding value by any means necessary and in any way possible. Here's a quick list of things you can do to support Black-owned businesses in your community or your family. I will address these issues further on my podcast on the Black Financial Channel. Number one, buy products from the company to directly support it financially. Most Black-owned businesses aren't financed as well as white-owned businesses, so they need customers immediately in order to survive. Banks don't give us the same loans they give white people. Number two, market the business to your friends and family to help them find new customers. Customer testimonials and word of mouth marketing is very powerful. Don't just waste time on social media. Use it to help the people you love. Number three, offer advice or support on how the business can improve. There's a lot of knowledge, skill, experience, and feedback we can give our friends. Why not leave a supportive comment in the chat or inbox on how they might do things better? Number four, offer free labor to a business being run by a loved one or friend so they can save on payroll costs. If you have some free time, why not invest it in a loved one's struggling business on a volunteer or IOU basis? Number five, offer financial support or financing for the funding of the business venture so the company can expand and overcome cash flow issues. If you trust your loved one and the business is solid, why not consider becoming an investor? Be careful though, because this involves legal contracts. Number six, share ideas on products and markets that the family business might explore. A good idea can launch a business to the next level. This might include new products or new markets that the business can explore. Great ideas are powerful when they are executed. Number seven, partner with a Black-owned business in joint ventures. In other ways, you can make money together. If there is a connection between your business and your loved one, a few conversations might help you explore common interests, and objectives. By being economically conscious on how we support Black-owned businesses, we can create an environment where businesses succeed, jobs are created, and prosperity is abundant. This is how we build a better future for our children. A. We should own the hair care industry, music, and sports. We should have our own leagues. There are several industries that Black people pour billions of dollars into that are owned and controlled by other people. Hip hop music was started in the South Bronx, but eventually became a multi-trillion-dollar industry that has been weaponized to ruin Black communities. Black hair is a massive industry where millions of Black women spend their last dollar. However, the hair care industry is brutally controlled and managed by people from other countries, some of whom go out of their way to block Black people from even getting a modest share of the profits. There are numerous other industries where Black people input billions of dollars every year and own almost none of it. Much of this disparity started with integration. We were integrated into America for at least two reasons. Number one, America needed more workers to maintain its industrial dominance. And number two, Black consumer spending became a huge segment of American economic growth. For some reason, we thought we were being integrated because everybody loved us. The reality, however, is that we were being integrated because we are a valuable economic commodity. I have never understood why we never learn to love ourselves, since it's not safe to import your self-esteem from another community. As a result, Black children are raised to be consumers and employees from birth. We send our children to schools that are run mostly by whites, with textbooks and other materials provided by white-owned companies, most of whom do almost no business with Black people. So they earn the money from our schools while our children are receiving a Eurocentric and often inferior education that doesn't prepare them to succeed in the world. All the white, Black families All the while, Black families consume products marketed on mass media airwaves that are owned and controlled by whites, leading us to purchase often unhealthy consumer products, which are also produced by whites. After our children finish high school, they are sent by their families to a typically white-run university that puts them so deep in debt that they are expected to die in financial servitude. Universities get rich from the trillions Black people give them every generation, while our best and brightest go into debt learning how to become better employees. After college, the most educated Black people are then sent into the workforce with almost no ability or understanding of how to start a business. Even worse, the majority of Black college graduates have never been trained to buy stock on a consistent basis or even buy land. So they are nearly completely incapable of creating a job, but highly capable of searching for one. After finding a job with modest pay, but not enough pay to get out of debt, our young people spend their entire lives working for a white-owned corporation until they are dead. All the while, many of them are paying rent to a wealth-building landlord while consuming products from trillion-dollar corporations. In this entire process, Black people are the economic mules of America. We do nearly all the work while others receive nearly all the benefits. The landlord becomes wealthy from the rent we pay because we never infuse the cultural values necessary to become landowners. The corporate shareholders leave wealth for their children from the profits earned off consumer products sold to Black people. The corporation also gets rich from the labor being provided by Black people who were taught that the best way to economic success is to find a job. Let's be clear. There's nothing humiliating about having a job, going to college, or buying consumer products. The problem is that the job should not be your only source of income or ownership. When you own nothing and work for an owner, you are effectively a piece of property to be used in any way that the owner sees fit. That's why people go to work and have to ask for permission to use the bathroom. College is fine as long as it doesn't lead to a lifetime of debt. Also, I don't care what the student learns in college as long as they also learn the fundamentals of building wealth, starting businesses, and owning assets. It's downright criminal that many of our HBCUs will brag about how many Black students they've sent to become employees for white owned corporations. This is not just counterproductive, but it's also insane. The bottom line is that Black youth must be taught to own and control assets. This is the most important thing any young Black person can learn, and there is nothing that's ever been taught on a big white college campus that is more important than the ability to own a means of production to give yourself access to freedom in a capitalist society. B. If you love someone, you will put money in their pocket. Cost model. Families show their love in different ways. When I was a kid, my grandmother showed love for us by cooking on Sundays. We would go down to grandma's house and she would make a really nice meal that typically involved chicken. In addition to the chicken, there would be macaroni and cheese, potatoes, greens, and even chitlins, which I thought were disgusting. This is a tradition that is held in many families where we show love for one another with food. There's nothing wrong with this tradition, but it isn't just about the food. The food was just an excuse for us to get together and see each other. But by a gathering on Sundays, we could spend time together and get to know each other's lives. That was special for me growing up, and the tradition continues to this day. The act of providing life giving sustenance and food to our loved ones was a symbolic act to say, I love you, care about you, and want to give you life. I hope you'll allow me to make a suggestion on other ways we can show love to our relatives. I will explain my idea by presenting a problem I've noticed over the years. After the family gets together on Sunday and eats, everyone goes home. When I was a kid, we went home to get ready for work or school the next day. Monday morning was never a good time in our household since it represented the beginning of a busy, difficult, and stressful week for everyone. We lived for the week ends, giving the rest of our week to the corporate plantation. My parents and all of their siblings had different jobs, all working for some white man across town. Never once did it cross their minds to combine their skills and make business moves together. I don't blame my family for not thinking about business during Sunday dinner, but I wondered to myself later in life, what better way for me to show you that I love you than to help you obtain financial security? Here's another way to envision the Sunday family gathering. Why not have a family business meeting? After eating together and socializing, everyone can sit on a couch and talk a bit about their personal financial outlook. In this meeting, you can discuss challenges, opportunities, and objectives. If I have a business idea, I can share it with the group. Someone in the group may then inform me of a piece of information they have or an opportunity they are aware of that might help my vision come to fruition. For example, if I announce that I would like to start a bakery, my cousin may let me know that she has always had an interest in baking and would love to provide labor. My sister may tell me that she has an extra $4,000 in savings and would like to become an investor. My aunt may tell me that she's aware of people at her job who would love to purchase baked goods if they were made available during lunchtime. Before long, we have a business. You see, you need three main markets in order to create a business: a market for capital, a market for contractors, and a market for customers. Think of a market like a seesaw, where there must be weight on both sides. For example, a capital market consists of those who need cash or capital versus those who have capital they are willing to lend to others. This is how my sister is loaning me money to start my bakery. She is providing the capital and I am borrowing it. The market for contractors is basically a market for labor. In order to run my bakery, I would need some help with skilled employees to get the job done. My cousin is providing labor in our labor market to help me get the work done. She may require compensation or may do it for free. When I started my first business, my cousin worked with me on an IOU for a pay rate that was less than I would have had to pay a stranger. This is the economic value of having good relatives. The last market is the market for customers. This consists of the producer and a consumer. Since my business is producing baked goods, I need someone who will buy them. That's where my aunt comes in, as the person who can connect me with customers who are ready to buy my products. Let's summarize. Rather than working for the man, our family business, the bakery, now has all that it needs in order to survive. We have access to the funds to start the bakery, the workers to help make the baked goods, and the customers necessary to buy the finished product. The process isn't as simple as what I've explained here, but it's not much different. The reality is that millions of Black families could do the exact same thing since there's money being spent every single day in Black communities. But rather than receiving the training to provide goods and services to our own people, we are taught to provide labor to the white community and their corporations. This is a multi-trillion-dollar net loss to the Black community, and it has led to continuous drains on our resources. The problem isn't getting better, it's getting worse. This form of education must be ended and replaced with a model that is more self-sustaining. Getting a job should be the last resort, not the first and only option. The system isn't going to change this. This is something we must change ourselves. That concludes chapter 2, covering commandment number 2. Um, so at this time, anyone like to comment or say what they learned about themselves or what they learned?
I'll make a comment of what I learned in the commandment 2 is just the start, the idea, whatever goal, whatever idea or goal that God gave you, It means that it's obtainable and that he gave you the people that's around you, and your relative or in your community to reach your goal. And this was a perfect way because he broke it down into saying with the example of the bakery, and you have someone that's great at baking. So you just get that person to do the labor work. And then you might have a family member. Because if I think about it in my family, I have someone that have the savings that could provide that that initial payment to get started. And then you might have the person that do all the paperwork or they handle the financing. And you could just start the bakery, the black-owned bakery, and you don't need basically you cutting the middleman. You cutting the middleman by producing your own, and your consumers will be the black community or um, your community.
Excellent point. Anybody else want to say what they learned or something they learned about themselves?
As we're going over the chapter, the second commandment, um, as he goes on to explain like the reason why we have to more come together as a family or community and support each other. Like he explains it very well. Started it well.
Great. Great. Anybody else? I'll go. So it reminds me of like my dad, our family business, and how like because I mean our community, we like getting together anyway. We like spending time with each other anyway. We like eating together anyway. We like being around each other. So when we're around each other, why not talk about ways that we can support each other? Like, hey, what do you want to do with that piece of land you got? You want to partner with me so we can start a business? Or, hey, what are you doing to make money? This is what I'm doing to make money. Just something simple like that can spark and inspire someone. Even if they don't say they inspired you, they still sparked. And you can see that the spark is there and you can see your community flourishing. Anyone else say something? And yeah, so I think that commandment number 2 is definitely important, just like commandment number 1 about always be an asset to your family. Always be if you're an asset to your family, then you can start a business and then you can start working together. So I think it goes in great order. And with that said, thank y'all for coming and listening, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Peace and blessings.